What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So we're doing some Mancera reviews over the next, week or so. And one that I've been spending time with is a new release from 2023. You saw it in the title and the thumbnail. We are going to be talking about Cosmic Pepper from Mancera. The name will make you think it's the most peppery thing on earth, and while based around some pink pepper and black pepper, much smoother and better use for every day than you may think. So let's dive into this review, shall we? Stay tuned. So I'll have the notes on screen for you guys, and this is one of those fragrances that opens up very fresh, nice and aromatic, a little sweet pepper smell. We're actually going to, get a couple nice little mists on the test strip. It's bright citrus, it's aromatic, sweet pepper smell, fresh and spicy, way more so than warm and spicy, and there's a nice rose note that settles in early. So if you're not a fan of rose, it may catch you off guard because of the name and the style of the fragrance, but there is a nice sweet pepper and kind of fresh, more so than watery rose. Like, it doesn't really smell like a Turkish rose. I believe it's like a Damask rose or something like that. The only thing I find that's distinguishable versus Bulgarian tends to be thicker and sweeter rose. Turkish tends to be a very fresh, watery rose, whereas here it's fresh, but I don't get that watery rose, like, wet flower type of feel to this one. So I think it does add a little bit of creaminess, though, with the musk and the tonka bean, because there is a nice sweetness to it. It's a little powdery, but it's not crazy powdery. This is one that has a very soothing, calming type of aroma to it. Again, the name would make you think just super peppery, tickle the senses kind of thing. Not so much. I don't get loads of black pepper. It's more pink pepper than anything else. So if you like a good pink pepper note, you may enjoy this one. The main things I get from this one is a nice citrus freshness, creamy, soft, and powdery floral sweet tone with a bright aromatic feel. And I don't get a ton of woods here, but the woodiness I do get as it gets pretty deep into the dry down is a nice soft but dry wood, because there is oud listed, but it never really smells like the typical oud oil that Pierre Montal uses in his fragrances. Overall, I think it's a great everyday versatile wear that absolutely works for just about anybody. I think the floral components of this make it very much a unisex fragrance. I don't think it leans feminine or masculine. I think anybody can enjoy this one. Again, the name might be a little misleading, but pepper's definitely in there and featured. It's just maybe not the pepper, at least that I initially thought would be the prominent feature, but such a great creamy signature scent that I don't think would be best in the high heat, but the rest of the year, day or night, totally works. Performance here is about what you would expect from Mancera. It's very long lasting, it's very pronounced. It's not one of the beast mode, crazy, ridiculous, strong type of Manceras, but you can anticipate being in that 10-hour range. A safe range to put this one is 8 to 10 hours, though I've never clocked it under 10 hours. Typically, I take a shower at the 10 to 11 hour range, so it probably would stay longer. It probably does stay longer. I just typically take a shower at that point. Projections on the slightly heavier side. I would call it moderate to heavy for a solid 2 hours before it really calms down. So you get all of the performance that you would pretty much expect from most Mancera offerings that aren't just crazy fresh fragrances. This one does have a little bit of body to it and density overall. So it definitely has some staying power and some oomph. Again, without being overwhelming. And then the sillage here, moderate. Not quite moderate mild. You do get pretty decent hits of this one randomly when you turn your head and everything. Almost for the entirety of how long it's been on skin and the times I've spent with, wearing it. It's, I would say all the way to like 7 or 8 hours. I'm still getting pretty strong whiffs before it falls into that light, faint hit once in a while when I make certain moves beyond 7 or 8 hours into it. So overall, I would say it's a very strong fragrance across the board. While not a beast, on some people it might actually be a beast, but I can't imagine this being weak on too many people. Obviously, everybody's experience is going to be a little different, but for me, across the board, well above average. Final thoughts on Cosmic Pepper from Mancera. I think it's a great offering. It's not what I expected it to smell like, though. I did have a different thing in mind, even when I saw the note breakdown, because I actually do these split screens with iFragrance. on live streams. I used to do them recorded videos. I do live streams the last several. When, you know, new release announcements come around that actually pique my interest is stuff I'd like to get. And when I saw the notes, I was like, ooh, this is going to be something for me. And it ended up being something for me, for sure. But it's not what I expected. I expected a much more black pepper heavy, drier spice type of fragrance when I got a very easygoing, soothing, calming, and relaxing type of scent profile centered more around pink pepper, rose, and citrus with a little bit of musk. And it's actually welcomed. I think this is a great fragrance at 8 out of 10. I think it's a welcomed addition to the little family of Mancera fragrances I like to call the most versatile signature scents of the bunch. We're talking fragrances like Aqua Wood, Cedrat Boisé, Midnight Gold, which I think kind of falls into a similar class as this one, just not as creamy, where it's got a lot going on, but a great everyday scent. There's certain ones from Mancera that just fit this specific little class within a class kind of thing. And I think this one goes right along with those, where you can totally wear this one every day for anything. That's my thoughts and feelings on Cosmic Pepper from Mancera. And until next time, do me a real quick favor. Go ahead and like, comment, subscribe, because I do appreciate all the feedback, and I love hearing from you guys. How many of you spent time with this one? What do you think about it? Have you tried it? Was it not for you? Was it not what you were expecting, kind of how it was for me? Totally fair. This is definitely one of those deals where nothing's truly blind buy safe. It's always best to try things and sample them before you commit to a full bottle. No matter how affordable you can get Mancera fragrances for, it's still always best to sample first, but you could do a lot worse if you're going to roll the dice on something like this, for sure. And until next time, I will say, if you get your hands on Cosmic Pepper from Mancera and you give it a spray now, there's a chance you might thank me later. Have a good one, guys.